Man, what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New. I'm coming at you on this Tuesday evening. Very excited as the NBA season shall tip off here shortly. I apologize for not coming back sooner. I want to finish my countdown and everything else, but we're going to end up getting to that throughout the week. But main thing is I just want to have a little bit to discuss before we jump into tonight's game. So just to touch on a couple things, news and notes that's going on around the association before tonight's tip-off is, of course, I'm sure many of you have heard about the Ben Simmons situation, getting put out of practice today. Doc Rivers and him, getting into it once again, and you can even see Joel Embiid is starting to get a little frustrated with this, saying he's not going to continue to babysit Ben Simmons. And this is just something that is going to continue to linger, it seems, until they can find a trade partner for Ben Simmons. But they do not want to give him up for some role players, and I don't blame them. But I just feel like the psyche and the emotional state of Ben Simmons is just a little bit soft, just to say the least. But at the end of the day, I understand players want to hold out, but it just all started when Ben, last season he didn't want to play in the seventh game. A lot of his teammates was questioning if he wanted to play in that game because of the COVID protocol, saying that he had saw the masseuse, and they was even questioning had he seen the massage therapist who had contact with somebody with COVID, according to the trace reports. But it ended up being that it wasn't the case, and he was able to play, but he wasn't able to practice, and that upset Doc Rivers. And then, of course, we know the shot that he did not take when he had an easy dunk and could have got fouled and passed up on the shot. And then, of course, all the things that were said subsequently during the press conference after the loss. And, we all know the holdout and everything else, but we're still waiting to hear from Ben just to get his side on everything. But at the end of the day, I'm not sure exactly what went on in practice, but whatever it was, he was suspended for conduct detrimental to the team. And I'm sure the teammates are not going to put up with it. And I know Doc Rivers did say if he decides he wants to play, the teammates will accept him. But if he don't, then they won't. And that's just as simple as that. They will accept people that want to be there. So it obviously looks like he doesn't want to be there. Of course, we all know about the argument at the house and everything else, so we won't get into all that. But what we will focus on is them Los Angeles Lakers' quest to win the championship this year, and LeBron James to win his 5th ring. And I think that's going to be a very highly good likely possibility of that. And I know the Lakers will get out of the gate slow just because all the injuries they have. Of course, we know Wayne Ellington is injured. We know THT is out for some extended time. Trevor Ariza is injured. But we do have our starting lineups in place for tonight. The Lakers will, like they said, they will start Anthony Davis at center. And the good news is Malik Monk is back from his injury. So they're going to start Anthony Davis at center, LeBron James at power forward, Ken Bazemore at the small forward position, and, of course, Malik Monk at the 2 spot, who was a bright spot in the preseason before he injured that groin. And, of course, Russell Westbrook. I apologize. Russell Westbrook at the point. And at the 2 guard, we're going to have Malik Monk. At the 3 spot, Bazemore. And at the 4 spot, LeBron James. And at the 5 spot, Anthony Davis, of course. So Anthony Davis is going to be playing that center spot. And Bazemore is going to be playing the 3 spot with LeBron James playing the 4 spot. So the Lakers are going to go small and use this new lineup, having Anthony Davis focus primarily as the center, and we'll see that Dwight Howard will come in to relieve him. And there are going to be several different lineups as the Lakers try to figure things out chemistry-wise. And I know I was one of the people who said I know they did not look good in the preseason and it didn't matter. I'm still going to stand by that. I know the Lakers are a 4.5 favorite at home tonight. I know a lot of people are taking Golden State plus the points, thinking that Golden State chemistry is looking good. They already been cutting to the basket. They was 5-1, 6-0 in the preseason, whatever it was. They was looking real nice, but like I said, preseason doesn't mean a thing. You know what I mean? Unless you end up with that ring. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I would have to take the Lakers tonight. And although I don't understand why people keep saying the Lakers don't have any shooting when they have Wayne Ellington, who is a tremendous knockdown three-point shooter. Malik Monk has been shooting at a high clip, especially last season. Trevor Ariza, he can shoot at a high clip. And let's not forget the Lakers did pick up Avery Bradley, who the Warriors didn't want. But I guess what? The Lakers will take him. He knows their system well. He's already played with LeBron and played under the system. Unfortunately, he sat out of the bubble and was not able to get his ring ring. Even though he got his ring, he was not able to contribute on that playoff run towards getting the ring. But we all know how valuable he can be, because we all do remember even the game before COVID and all that broke out, the great game he had against Milwaukee when he hit several three-pointers and he plays great defense. So I'm a fan of Trevor Ariza and a fan of Avery Bradley, two wily old vets who can play defense and who both can knock down three-point shots. Of course, you got Carmelo, who people keep forgetting about, and let's not forget about Rajon Rondo. So to me, it's not even enough ball to go around for all the experience that the Lakers has. And let's not to mention Austin Reeves. He was having a great preseason. I would like to see what he can be able to do, as far as the young legs are with the Lakers. So there's going to be a lot of, like I said, chemistry things that's going to need to be worked out primarily, early on in the season. And the thing is, the Lakers, I feel like, in a long season, they might get out of the gate slow, like I said before, but I guarantee by the 10th or the 15th game, you're going to see what the Lakers are really made of, because you have everything you need to contribute to a championship, because it's all about matchups, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about matchups, and as long as Anthony Davis can stay healthy, then that's going to be in the Lakers' benefit, because whenever other teams decide to go small and put a stretch five in, then that's when Anthony Davis is going to prove his value. But if Anthony Davis isn't healthy, then Anthony Davis won't be able to prove his value. So, you're going to have Anthony Davis healthy in order for the Lakers to be successful, because other than Phoenix out west, with, Aiden and everything, the majority of the other teams, they can play that stretch five ball. So Anthony Davis will need to make himself available for that, because in the event that he isn't, just kind of like when the Lakers made their run for the championship, in the bubble, there was times when Dwight Howard didn't even play when they went against the small ball lineup of the Houston Rockets at the time, when Russell Westbrook and James Harden was together for the Houston Rockets. So with all that being said, it's going to be very key for Anthony Davis to remain healthy, especially during the playoffs, because the Lakers will need him in that capacity as far as playing that 5 spot. Now, if he ever were to go down, I still think the Lakers could go traditionally. I think they could traditionally still win at the big matchup, but at the end of the day, you just never know. If the Lakers push came to shove, you could see LeBron James slide over into that 5 spot, even though it'd be tough for him to guard somebody like Jokic or somebody like that down low this late in his career, even though he could give it all that he had. But that's not something you want him to do for the entirety of the game. But, if the Lakers don't have a stretch 5 when they go up against a team like Denver, then they could be in trouble, because if Anthony Davis is injured and doesn't remain healthy, which I know a lot of people said that's what he does. They call him Street Clothes Davis. I don't want to be negative, and I definitely don't want to wish any bad luck on that man, so I won't keep on talking about it. But that's just something a void the Lakers may need to fill at the trade deadline, as far as getting a backup center who could be a potential stretch 5. And that's why the Nets weren't too keen on keeping a DeAndre Jordan, because they were able to actually go out, and Aldridge was able to come out of retirement. And I think that's great for Aldridge. I've always been a fan of his with all his years with the Portland Trail Blazers and the San Antonio Spurs. And it was hurt. I was hurt to know about his health issues. So we wish him all the best, even though the Brooklyn Nets is not going to beat the Lakers if they do make it to the finals. And we all know all the controversy surrounding Kyrie and that he won't be playing tonight, even though it's supposed to be on the road. He can play. Let me know in the comments what you think about that decision to not even allow him to play the road games, because they're saying it's a distraction and it will mess up chemistry issues, because he's playing road games and he's playing away games. But I guarantee in the playoffs, if it go that far and Kyrie is still a net and they need him on the road against a team like Milwaukee, I guarantee he will play. But as far as tonight matchup with the Milwaukee Bucks and the Brooklyn Nets, I tend to want to pick Brooklyn, just because we saw how well Brooklyn played. We saw how well Brooklyn was able to play Milwaukee. We saw how well they were able to play Milwaukee, even without a Kyrie Irving and a very, very limping James Harden. We all know James Harden was limping. He was not himself with the tight hamstring. He was more so a decoy in the playoffs last year and a spot-up shooter that couldn't really create and get to the basket. So he was really not much of a benefit to. He really wasn't much of a benefit to the Brooklyn Nets, and Kevin Durant did carry such a heavy load. One thing I will say about the Milwaukee Bucks, whenever you win a championship, you gain confidence like out of this world. And I think Middleton has stepped up to the next level. He's always been a great player, but it was times where he was just a little bit streaky, not always, how can I say this, not always dependable. But I think he's really stepped his game up, and I'm pretty sure Giannis and the crowd is going to be rocking and rolling tonight as far as the season getting started and everything like that. So look for a raucous crowd in the arena tonight. They got Milwaukee as a 1.5 favorite, minus the 1.5. If I was betting on this game, which I think I'm going to stay away from this one, but if I was betting on this, I would take Brooklyn plus the points, or Brooklyn in the straight up, because I really feel like James Harden and Kevin Durant is just going to be a little bit too much fully healthy for them to take, especially if they're coming out on a mission and they feel like they got to prove something. And right now, I honestly feel like Kevin Durant is, I want to say, probably the best player in the league next to LeBron James. I still want to get a nod to LeBron because of his IQ level and what he can do and what he's capable of doing on offense and defense. And people got such a short-term memory and say he fell off because they only remember the playoffs. But I think I'm going to see a LeBron James that is on a mission tonight just because of the way the playoffs ended and how everybody was injured. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what LeBron James is capable of. Oh, this some bitch almost just hit me, man. These people cannot drive, man. What is wrong with you? They need to get the dope out their brains and put the hope into their veins. Never get nowhere smoking the pipe. Man, that might be a sign I need to get up out of here, man. Y'all know it's kind of dark style. I normally do my show in the morning time. Hell, matter of fact, I don't even think I know where the hell I'm at. Man, that got me kind of shook. What the hell was I even just talking about, man? I was finna say right on to the real and death to them fakers, but you know I don't do death to the fakers anymore. I give much love to them haters, so that even got me thrown off my mainframe. But if I can ever figure out where the hell I am, let me put on my navigation, pull up my maps and see where the hell I'm at, because I really don't know. But at the end of the day, y'all, that really done just threw me for a loop. But basically what I'm trying to say is the Los Angeles Lakers will reign supreme. I would take the Lakers tonight because it's not the preseason. You know, you got a Draymond Green, you got a Jordan Poole, you know, you got the ugly ass boy, what's his name, playing this center. You know, other than that, I just, you know, they well coached. They playing pretty well as far as the preseason is concerned, but I think the Lakers is just way too deep. And whether you have chemistry issues or not, when it comes down to a close game, you got to be able to put the balls in the ball in the hands of somebody that's capable of scoring one-on-one and creating for others. And the Lakers had that in Anthony Davis. Really in Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Russell Westbrook, but more so in Russell Westbrook and LeBron James. And I know a lot of people say, I don't know what's going to happen at the end of the game. If it's a close game, but they act older, just going to be daring AD to shoot. They're just going to be daring Russell Westbrook to shoot. Yeah, please leave them wide open and see how they work out for you. Please leave them wide open and see how it work out for you. I know they're not the best, but you continue to keep doing it and watch how that chemistry begins to grow and how they start to hit those shots. And at the end of the day, Russell Westbrook, I think, can play without the ball if he has a LeBron James facilitating to him and vice versa. So at the end of the day, as long as one of them is capable of getting to the basket, we're going to see what's going to happen. But I'm very, very interested to see what these games are going to look like when it's all, when it actually matters and it goes into the win and loss column, unlike the preseason. So with all that being said, man, this been your boy B New, man. I got to get up out of here, man, because I got to go check these games out. They about to come on. So right on to the real. Much love to these haters. Y'all know I'm about. Peace.